Thank you for joining me today. So first of all, for people that don't know, can you just introduce yourself, what your role in the business is, and what your company actually does, please?
Thank you. Thank you, Lengow team, for having us here. It's a great day. My name is Uli Bartholomeus. I work for Stylight, and we are we have marketing and sales solutions on our platform. We aggregate products in 17 countries, focusing on fashion brands and retailers and home and living and kids and sports and beauty.
It's quite a range. I'm sure.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Sean McKee. I'm the e-commerce and CX director for Shoe, which is a UK footwear branded multiple. So we have a network of stores across the UK and Ireland. We've got some stores in Germany. We have a mature online business, and our secret sauce is the quality of the integration between online and offline. We're very, very focused on that.
Hi, I'm Thomas from Idealo. Idealo is Germany's and Europe's biggest product and price comparison site. So what we do is we forward traffic that we generate on our platform in Germany that's beyond 1 million customers per day. We forward those to our 50,000 customers being merchants. So we forward the customers we have on our site to our merchants. And we're not only live in Germany, we've been live in Germany for the past 17 years. We've expanded into other European countries, such as France, Spain, Italy, Austria, and the UK, and we're among the top 3 in all of those countries. In Germany, we're among the top 4 e-commerce sites, representing almost all online merchants.
Hi everybody, my name is Rodolphe Roux. I'm in charge of all the innovation and digital innovation in the Wico team. Wico is a baby company. We launched the company 6 years ago. It's really, a crazy company, because after 6 years we are second in the French market, and our market is not to sell boxes, but it's to sell mobile. We are today in 30 countries, not only in France, but in Africa, in Asia, and in Europe. And the challenge for us is to continue, of course, this story, because last year we sold 10 million mobile. Of course, as you know, there are like big, we are a baby in this big business of the mobile, and this is the challenge today, is even if we are baby, how we can innovate and create new verticals, new business model, even if we are a baby.
And that leads nicely into my first question, which was, do you have a diversification strategy? You're obviously in lots of countries already, but how do you look for new lines of business and grow a business? And I think we've got 2 fashion retailers, we've got a site that attracts business, and we've got a mobile retailer. So if you want to kick off, what does diversification look like for a big company, but actually a small player in the mobile field?
Well, first of all, we analyze the usage. And I'm sorry, because maybe I will break a little bit the ambience, because always when I'm talking with startups and the digital company who are in the business, I always give this information very important. All the people, you have the feeling that, you know, you use applications and you use your mobile for a lot of things. But at the end of the day, and when you analyze the French market specifically, but it's quite the same in Europe and in Asia and in Africa, let me just give you some figures. 72 million SIM cards in France, only 33 million of Mobinote, what we call Mobinote. So it means that, of course, we have 33 million of Mobinote, but it means, in the other hand, that we have 40 million of SIM cards. We don't use their mobile on the web. Then, if you analyze the 33 million, 20 million of these people have maybe 5 or 6 or 7 apps, not more. So it means that at the end, you have 72 millions, and you have only 15 millions of people who use their mobile with applications, new services. But in these 15 millions, you have 77 million people who are less than 18 years old. So 72 million SIM cards, 7 million users. So when you are a bank, if you want to democratize transfer, cash transfer, or whatever, I mean, your market is not 72 million, it's 72 millions of SIM cards. It's 7 millions. So one innovation, because we can talk a lot about a lot of information, is we just came and visit the bank area in the WeCo business team, and we said, okay, you will fail if you continue to think that all the people use your application. But if you create your mobile, it's a brand mobile, you can put whatever you want, and you can give this mobile to your customers and create your own distribution channel. So this is exactly what is my job, is really to contact brands and to say, okay, how many customers do you have? 1, 2, 3 million people. Okay, I will sell your mobile with your brand and with the application that you choose. First example. Second example is we analyze, of course, one more time, the usage. Not the usage that we expect, not the communication usage, this communication that we hear every day, startups, application. And we saw that you have, it's in France, but in Europe you have the same quite of the market, 6 million of people who are not, who are what we say malentendants, which means not deaf, but you have problems because you are difficulty to hear. And we launched 1 week ago a new mobile for the deaf and for the people who have this difficulty to hear. Of course, when you are deaf, imagine the situation, you cannot use your mobile. So we take the lead with an application named Roger Voice, which is an application for the deaf. Then we put Roger Voice in our mobile. We imagine this mobile, and even if WeCo is sold in all the retailers in France, we began 2 weeks ago the discussion with Amplifon, Audica, all these retailers who are focused on this business of ear problems. And the funny thing is even them, because it's not their business, they say, wow, yes, of course, we want to sell this mobile. So this is a digital project, but it became and it becomes today a classical retailer project. So this is exactly what is my job, to develop this kind of opportunity.
2 things to bring out there then. One is approaching partners to brand products with, and the second is expanding product lines. I imagine, Sean, that must be a bit more tough in shoes, or come to you next in clothing.
Well, I would say we have a performance strategy rather than a diversification strategy. Diversification isn't the end. The end is top line and bottom line performance, particularly bottom line performance, because e-commerce is challenged from a profit perspective relative to the bricks and mortar part of the business. And given that all the growth in the business is in e-commerce, it's important that we engineer improved profitability. So for us, it's a couple of things. In terms of diversification, it's involved coming off Amazon, coming away from eBay, when we were satisfied that we could generate the right volumes at the right profitability level on our own websites. And then it's been a very heavy CRO effort that is very contextually sensitive. We have a network of stores. We want people to go in those stores. We have customers who are a youthful demographic and they shop on their mobile, so it's completely mobile first. And contextually as well, we're a branded business, so the relationship we have with our branded partners is absolutely key. And they historically have been very sensitive to the sort of environments we trade in. So we're definitely in a happier environment when it's our own controlled environment.
So actually pulling back from the marketplaces has increased the
it's increased. Well, it's increased growth and profitability, but it's also made some of our big brands substantially more comfortable because they've got degrees of sensitivity about brand equity.
And is that similar for your business, or do you see a difference?
It's absolutely similar. And it's very interesting. I've been in the performance marketing space for over 15 years with a short break in influencer marketing, very branded-oriented influencer marketing last year. Now, coming back into the performance marketing space at Stylight, I see that we have a portal with branding and sales solutions, but in the end, discussing on a daily basis with my clients, it's about driving performance, it's about driving sales, it's about getting the conversion rate up, it's about getting high rates of new clients, etc. So basically diversification strategy is a big topic if you want to continue to develop the company at the same time while having these very operative or operational and very important discussions. So I think Stylight has done a great job during the last 9 years of entering new markets. We are there in 17 markets worldwide, and but obviously focusing on the right product, on the right service, which is basically driving high quality and premium quality traffic into the brand pages or brand shops and retail shops of our clients.
Okay, thank you. Thomas, I'd also, if you can, like to touch on the next topic, because you have a lot of data, I'm guessing, from customers. And data is kind of, every company's got data, but it's kind of the next pot of gold. It's like, how do you tap into that data? If you've got multiple retailers, how do you know what products to show me that I may be interested in showing something totally different? And what are you doing with data? How can we actually tap into that?
Actually, that's part of our strategy. We're just these days we are in a very mature business model. We've done the price comparison, the marketing channel for the past 17 years now, and it has been quite successful. We've internationalized, and we're now looking into new revenue streams, into new ideas. So the first thing that we've done, we've moved from marketing channel to marketing and sales channel. You can now not only be forwarded to Shoe, for example. I guess you're partners of ours in the UK, or I hope so, or you will be.
I'll know it like I know.
Okay. So you will be able to shop right on our site. All that generates, all those facts generate quite a lot of data on our platform. As I said, we have beyond 1 million customers just on our German site on a daily basis. We have 50,000 merchants connected to us, and we have 300 million offers. The prices change so many times that we have beyond 2 billion price changes per day. So there is quite a lot of data. Just to quickly answer your initial question, and we are only just now moving into that sphere, saying, okay, this is very interesting. We've been approached by very large retailers and brands saying, hey, you guys have the data, and there are a couple of companies crawling us to find out all those details. We've realized that's a very big thing. We needed to do some internal restructurings. You can suppose we have quite massive databases that need to be accessible for other things than what we do on a daily basis. And we're still in the process of making all this data accessible. We're working with partners in Germany currently. It is one of our partners, and they have an API that they're connected to, and we're reselling that data through them. But that's only, at this point of time, this is only price data. So it's not customer data. Customer data in Germany is always about data privacy. There are huge issues, but you can still sell very anonymous user data without infringing any laws or whatsoever. Or you could also look into brands. For brands, it's pretty interesting. If I tell Samsung, hey, everybody's looking for the new iPhone, or for your latest S8 or something. Are people rather looking for the S8 Edge, or are they looking for the other ones? Are they searching for the blue or the black one? Are they looking for a price range? Are they looking for smartphones from 300 to 350 euros? Do you guys have a smartphone in that price area? So,
are they looking for a Wiko smartphone?
Exactly. So yeah, that might be great info to these guys. to know, okay, this is a market where we can step into, and we're on the verge. We've started to actually resell that data, and we're moving into that further and further these days.
So, Sean, I guess you don't have so many problems with data sharing because your customers are your customers. So how do you monetize that data that you've got and extract more value out of those customers?
Okay, well, it depends on the data. Day to day, we're obviously doing a lot of stuff at cookie level and retargeting people and all the things you would expect us to be doing to drive performance. But it's the behavior of larger cohorts of customers that really helps us. In the end, we want to get more people down a funnel, and we have a lot of visitors who don't convert, as one of the previous speakers said. So it's about the performance of the 98 who aren't converting, the 98%. So we track volume behavior all of the time, and that helps us redesign the interface for the customer, helps us introduce new services, helps us monitor the performance of the services we have, and we do a lot of A/B testing, to make sure that any element that lives on the website has a right to be there. And listening to the conversation earlier about video, it's very easy to measure the performance of video on your website, and if it doesn't perform for us, we'd take it off. It should not be there if it doesn't do something to deliver the core objective. We're making heavy use of product data. I would say product data is much more important to our business than customer data, in that we can anonymously sell you something, but if we don't know where the product is or what the availability of the product is, then we can't. So there are relativities of usefulness of data, I would say.
And do you find the same? And another question that I'd like to come back to you on is it all done by humans, or are you making use of artificial intelligence to actually manipulate the data and make decisions?
Yeah, I would like to distinguish between data and data. So one data is having user data and trying to explore on that and using existing technologies and future technologies on how to understand the user better and monetize better. And the other one, and obviously we are working very heavily in this area because this is highly important and crucial to everybody, to us, to increase the conversion rates in the end. And the other data, and this is something really interesting, that in 2017, in many cases, we don't use the data we actually have when it comes to very simple tracking data and tracking information. So when we talk about customer journeys, for instance, it's quite, many technologies around making it available to understand customer journeys. And what we see on Stylight portals is that we have users with completely different and diverse buying intent. And basically, we understand that already. And we would like to share this information basically with all of our clients, because we want them also to understand, and many do, but many don't, that actually kicking off a customer journey might be as important as actually closing the deal at the end of the funnel. So there's a lot of data around, but we don't seem to use it as we could. That's what I think.
So how can we go about improving how we use that data, and what would your number one wish be? Would it be do you need better tools? Do you need better data? Do you need to segment the data? What would be the way forward, do you think?
Speaking from a Stylight perspective, it's definitely tools. We need tools. We need support on that. We can't build it all ourselves.
Sure, I see it dying.
And I think an even bigger challenge is finding people with the skill set to actually engineer what we're doing, because I think the biggest issue for us is finding, data scientists in the UK can name their price. They can work where they want for whatever salary they want, and I would say that skill set is actually an even bigger challenge than the tools.
I think you're kind of pre-jumping my next question, which is, do you have a strategy of partnership with business and technology providers? Thomas, I can see you dying to jump in, but again, come to you next. Thomas.
We have a couple of tools to access our data. We're using Splunk and Tableau as one of those, but we do reach, I mean, I've told you about the massive amount of data that we have, the amount of data changes, where every single data change might be valuable to our customer. So we do reach the limits of that. Imagine how much data and how much storage you need and how massive the tool needs to be. And so I completely agree. It's as always, it's people, methods, tools. So if you don't have people who have the idea, I mean, of course there's artificial intelligence, but I can't just buy an artificial intelligence tool and put it onto my massive amount of data and just make a business assumption. So I need somebody who has an idea on that.
And I think the other thing is which data. It's very, how many vendors talk to you about big data? Well, which data? Which data do I need to take action on that will help deliver our strategic proposition for the KPIs that we require? So it's about lots of little pieces of data that you can take action on rather than massive amounts of intimidating data that you don't really know what to do with, I think.
Yeah, I think the best thing I heard big data describe that is what you said. It is literally just lots of little bits of data. So look for where the money's going to be and highlight in your business. Now, that must be interesting for you with mobiles because a lot of your strategy is with partners. So how do you handle it?
Well, again. Sorry, because I mean my background is I used to work in big companies in France, and then of course when I arrived in the WICO environment, I had the feeling that I will be the king of the data. It was my feeling, and after a few months, I mean it was a nightmare, because of course when you have more than 20 million customers, because last year we sold 10 million of mobile, but we have the people who use the WICO already. I mean, so it means around 20 million of customers. So we made the difference between cold data and warm data. Cold data, it's okay, what you collect every day, every month, every minute, every second with your mobile. And you cannot imagine all the data that we are able to collect when we are in the mobile industry. Sorry for all the people who are in the Apple or Samsung or Huawei industry. You give a lot of information to this, I mean, to our business. But the problem is not the collect. The problem is how to use it. Because, I mean, if I know that, okay, my customers, they are between maybe 11 years old and 75 years old, okay, how I can use this data. So we try to find this solution during maybe 6 months, and then we failed. We failed because if you just collect data and you don't use this data and you don't test this data, you cannot. I mean, we are not able to be very smart and to say, okay, I have the answer to how to use it. So we decided to choose some subject, like the cash transfer, and as an example, and we say, okay, we have 20 million of customers in the world. Maybe these customers will use cash transfer. So we made a partnership with Western Union 6 months ago, and today, I mean, maybe in 6 months, we will be able to say, okay, we have these customers, and in 6 months, we will be able to say, these customers are very smart customers for the cash transfer. And we do the same with all the new usage that we identify, like the next story of the mobile, because the story of the mobile today is, okay, I buy my mobile, this is the first stage. But the second stage, and of course when you see what happened a few weeks ago when Apple launched the new iPhone 8 and iPhone X, who cares? What is the next innovation? No innovation anymore in the mobile. But the innovation will be in the usage. How my bank will capture my new usage. And you see that specifically in France, you have the launch of Orange Bank, but of course in Germany you have N26, and you have all these new usages in the banking area, and it will be the challenge for the next usage, and it will be the connection between cold data and what we call warm data. It means the data that we can collect and we can use to develop the business. And this is the ADN, as you can see, this is the DNA of Wiko. The DNA of Wiko is business first.
Okay, that is brilliant, because I wanted to talk about innovations, and it's kind of interesting because you've been talking about bank transfers, if it's a huge innovation, but bank transfers have been around since banks started. It's just how you're using it. And I think a lot of innovation isn't necessarily, oh, let's have something brand new, let's have the Google Home or the Amazon Alexas and get an app on there. It is kind of some of the smaller stuff that you can just tweak on the website. Like you said, if a video is not working, get rid of it. So what innovations are you looking at? What's the next new lines for you guys? What's coming along? Do you want to go first, Sean? Or Tom?
Well, look, our business is about elimination of friction in the customer journey. So we're always looking to find ways to do that. So we think voice is quite sexy. And Google are doing such a good job, and Amazon are doing such a good job at educating people that voice is usable, that we think that's clearly got some potential. But we've done a couple of very useful things recently. The first was to partner with Klarna on allowing customers to pay later. And so that's been
those
useful.
That don't know Klarna, could you just explain how it works?
Well, Klarna is sort of a Stockholm-based payments facilitator, and their heritage is in invoicing. So people who have typically gone into the German market might have automatically partnered with Klarna to help deal with the invoicing problem. But they fundamentally offer a sort of ethical way of giving the customer a very contained amount of credit for a very short period of time, usually till the next payday. So we've been doing that. That's been really helpful to people. They also have a very clean checkout, and that's just really improved the performance of our checkout.
So it's just on this payments, it's just getting rid of that bit of friction about having to put in my address and credit card and everything, or making it a really quick...
It's about iterating to get it right, because when we first launched it, we went into pure Klarna, and our customers really didn't like it. They said, what is this? I don't understand. What are you doing? Who are Klarna? But when we offered them a very clear choice between would you like to pay now or pay later, that's when the performance really started to motor. So you've got to iterate.
Thomas, you're smiling here.
I was just it's called Rechnung in Germany. It's just the most ancient way of paying. You guys from the UK, you have your credit cards and you're perfectly fine, and there's no really reason, you can't really see one reason to pay in any other way. Maybe PayPal would be interesting, but in Germany we're actually somewhat ancient or traditional, let's put it that way, and people actually like to transfer money to the shop, which does not really make sense because it's not liquidity-wise, it doesn't make sense. It's just we're used to that. We've done that since the 50s when Otto and the other catalog companies came out, and that's just how it is.
So I sense a theme coming out here. People were talking, like earlier we were talking about Germans and the social media, and it's like, no, we're not ready for that. So there's distinct differences between countries, which I think is the important thing. Now, how many countries did you operate in?
17.
17
worldwide.
So do you get these kind of problems or innovations or lack of innovation or different for different countries?
Yeah, actually, it's very interesting for me to see. I've been in the B2B space during my past, and now I'm in a B2C company. And Starlight considers itself being a tech company, so everything we've been doing in the past was very tech-oriented, which means that we employ technical solutions that work in every country, and we were very efficient and professional in actually testing and rolling out. So looking at the past, I think as a tech company we didn't experience too many differences, but obviously from my past in B2B and now with my focus at Starlight for B2B business, this is completely different because each market is different, there are different needs, and therefore in B2B I think it's very important to consider each market differently. So talking about innovation, what we do around innovation is all about basically finding new ways and solutions or optimizing solutions on how to drive this high quality traffic to the websites of our clients. And I'd like to highlight two, basically. They don't seem to be very innovative, but there's still a lot of room of improvement. One is the search experience on Starlight, which in my view works pretty well, but can be improved big time. And also if we compare ourselves with others, then there's a lot of improvement there in order to make it easier for the user to find the right product with the right fit. In this very moment he's looking for it. So this is one big topic at Starlight, and the other one is being innovative in enabling our brands and retailers to optimize better their traffic on Starlight. And so we just recently relaunched the new Starlight Partner Center. We put in some new innovations, the most recent one being that you can now actually bid on a by product level and category level in order to increase traffic coming from Starlight.
Fantastic thing. And yes, sure.
Because I had to. The second one was possibly the most obvious of all, is we introduced real people to the website. We have live chat, we have video chat or text chat, and the basket sizes, the conversion rates, and the net promoter score for those interactions is far in excess of what we achieve without the intervention of the person. And what's been important for us is to ask ourselves, what is it that Amazon cannot do well where we can excel? And actual people has been the answer.
Yeah, and we're out of time, but a final question very quickly is, where do you find your inspiration for new ideas? And there's been some interesting already, look at competitors, look at Amazon, but 2 words, if you were looking for inspiration for new sources of revenue, where would you go?
Sometimes when you fail, it's easier to find a new solution. Just an example, last year we launched a mobile. Yeah, but it's very important because, I mean, what I explained, I mean, it's because we failed. And we try to launch a mobile who help the consumer to earn money. I mean, this story, it's incredible, of course. Imagine you use your mobile and you can win money. Yeah. I mean, and it's failed because all the people, you know, that didn't realize that it is possible. So then after, we decided to go in the B2B market and say, okay, if I cannot do that again alone, I will catch a bank, an insurance company, and they will do it for us. Yeah. But it was a fail at the beginning.
Thomas?
I think in e-commerce, it's all about not only following Amazon. As you said, they're the most important. So just listen to your customers, listen to people. That's where you will find innovation that actually helps if you follow what they want.
I'd just repeat that. Customer feedback and Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple are the blindingly obvious.
Networking, I go to places like this one.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.